Hello everyone, this is Shima and welcome back to this channel. It's spooky season, so I've decided to make a beautiful painting for Halloween. I'm already doing the Inktober challenge and black and white drawings can get a little bit boring for me. So I love colors and I've decided to make a beautiful watercolor painting for Halloween. So let's get to it. So for this painting, I'm using watercolors and I've decided to make my own palette. I have these watercolors in tubes and I made them like little cubes, and I've seen a lot of artists using this technique before, so I was excited to try these and they're pretty good actually. You're not gonna waste a lot of colors on your palette. I always love to start with the face and just put some really transparent layers on top of that and then add on the details later on. Because watercolors get dry so fast, I'm using my bigger brush to get a solid color for the dress. So as you can see, I'm already putting a base layer and then I will add the details with my smaller brushes. I mostly use oil paint for my paintings, and blending in oil paintings is so much easier for me, but I'm still learning this process of watercolors and gouache, and slowly and patiently I'm going to add the details and layers on top of each other. Some artists prefer their brush strokes to actually get seen on the paper, but for me, I always love to blend everything so smoothly, so I try to avoid that as much as possible. There is not so much waste on the palette as you can see. I'm using that mostly for mixing colors if I'm going to add a new color that I don't have already in my color palette. Watercolor is all about control and techniques that you're going to learn eventually. For me, I started this medium a couple months ago, and to be honest with you, I'm still having challenges with it, but I always get excited when I'm working with watercolors. But in between the process, sometimes I get a little bit frustrated because I don't get the results that I want. But you know, practice makes perfect, so I don't give up easily and I'm practicing and trying to make the best out of this medium. I think each medium, when you start using them, you're gonna have a lot of challenges. And for me, when I, for example, started oil painting, it was a little bit hard for me to control the colors and the smoothing and the blending and everything. But after a couple of tries and errors here and there, I kind of like got the medium, and so I could use it to my benefit. As I told you before, I'm using mixed media, so I'm using gouache for the background because it's more opaque and it has less transparency. So I'm using everything that benefits my painting and blend it nicely. So as you can see, for the black background, I'm also using gouache. It's really hard to manage it when it comes to black, even though when I'm mostly using oil painting, when I use black backgrounds, it's really hard to get a really solid black for the background. And as you can see, for gouache, it's also harder to manage that, but I'm trying my best here. I don't know, maybe I will change the background or add some details at the end of it. I'm not sure yet. When I'm making mixed media paintings, I always think that if I put too much watercolor and put so many layers on top of my paper, later on, if I'm going to use color pencil on top of it, I'm going to have challenges. So I try to put less layers. But for the hair, for example, I decided to give the details with the watercolors as much as possible, and maybe later on add the color pencil for like really tiny details that I want. The next day, I've decided to put the color pencils on top of the painting and add the details that I wanted. I'm using Prismacolors. They're a little bit oily and the texture is really smooth. I like the texture for this one. So here's the final results. After finishing this, I didn't like the background so much, so I've decided to add some details with my watercolor that I have. It's metallic watercolor, so I decided to add some stars and glow to the whole painting. Hope you guys enjoy this video. The print of this painting is available on my website. If you like this painting, you can easily purchase it. And thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one.